Well, good morning, folks. Happy Good Friday, Easter long weekend. This is a critical alert. I'm going to give it that minute to let people log on. I've discovered something of understanding. It all has to do with recent talks of 1990s Land Management Act and what's in APTN talked about with Roland Crow and others on the Standing Bear Network. I've tagged them in this. I've tagged a whole series of First Peoples. A lot are with me. A lot have been with me in politics. A number of years ago, I did an education, folks, and that education was on the civil society. It's a private education. I don't give that out publicly, and there's reasons for that because it has to do with political platforms. I'm constructing a federal party as we speak. I've been on it for some time now. I did provincial politics, as a lot of people know. I ran for premier in 2019. I did an education for many Albertans. Unfortunately, there were no First Peoples who took that education. I don't do it publicly. It's already made. It's 100% free. I've never charged anybody for any sessions I've ever put on. But this one, I see clearly now today as the red flags stand up for me. When I listen to First Peoples speak in relation to civil societies, words like committee, board, the list goes on and on. There's a whole pile, folks. It's absolutely to do with the private industry, really. It's basically a private corporation. A lot of people believe when you hear, oh, the government's panel, all the panels you've seen, oh, the government's panel, or the government's board, or there's so many. And First Peoples, you have to understand what a society is. I call it the civil societies. There's the Societies Act, Civil Societies Act. It's all in the civil side of law, regulated just like common law for corporations, non-profit. You'll see all kinds of lists there. It's something First Peoples clearly do not understand when you look at the legal system here in Canada. Inherited from foreign powers. It's part of, I guess you could term, the white man's legal system. And clearly, all First Peoples don't understand it. And it's not to be shamed or feel lesser or anything. I can tell you clearly right now, all the electorate in Canada is fooled when it comes to the civil society versus what's actually government. And when you give over to the civil society, you might as well say you're going back to the Hudson's Bay Company. It's a trick where you'll find that they are regulated by the government anyway, and it's a nice, easy way for the government to take away your rights, have somebody else impose a bunch of abuses on you, screw you over, as all of history shows. And this is why this education, which was done privately for a lot of Albertans, and you know what, I'm opening it up today free for First Peoples. I won't be hosting this session until post residential school genocide, but all those tagged in it, some of you are already vetted. You'll have no problem getting full access to that course. However, there's several others and even more out in the reeds out there in Canada that need to take the course. Don't fall for liberal lovers, conservative lovers, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm telling you right now, First Peoples right through to APTN, some of the worries they have, they are founded. Those worries are founded, and it's time for you to enter into the education for the first time ever in your lives on the civil society, what that is, what that legally is in Canada, from this, yes, the white man's system. It usurps elections. It usurps the public trust. A lot of folks don't know. They don't make a differentiation between that as a private organization or that it's government. A lot of people are fooled into believing, oh, it's government. It's government, and it's not government. And we need to go through that system, and clearly and absolutely a majority, just like regular old Canadians, the First Peoples need this education. If I can even empower a dozen First People leaders in their communities, or leaders in fights for land back, or other narratives, you must, and I repeat, you must understand. I'm not saying you have to join in the civil society, but you must understand it. Because if you don't understand it, you're going to get broken by it. Just like so many others and so many others in history. You can make it work for you, or at least understand it enough to know what you're dealing with and what you're getting into. And are your concerns founded or not founded? Governments have utilized this many, many times in history, even in the First People's history. They've used corporation or they've used society. They both have distinct acts, but they look much the same. And a lot of people, because the government's got umpteen supplies of civil societies, they bring them forward with every election. When I talk about the bloat of government, nobody looks at the civil society. And all those before created remain. Even when you get rid of the elected officials, their societies remain. Private entities on the public tit, on the Indians' land tit. And that's the truth. If you want to learn it in its entirety, to understand it, to be able to go forward with a clear knowledge, I'm willing to do that for free. It's going to be after June 28th, 2022, but I will give that presentation. I will work a number of weekends out with First Peoples who wish to embark on that. There is a non-disclosure agreement you sign. I don't want you sharing this. It's part of my platform. It's massive intellectual property that's mine, and I put a lot of time into that. You don't even want to know how many hours in my own time, but that's free for anyone who wishes to understand that portion of society, because I can promise First Peoples from every walk and every level of the Canadian system, you don't understand the civil society. That's clear to me, as it is clear for mostly all Canadians. And to get into politics, to get into geopolitics, your nation understanding systems of government, you best start with the civil society and how that affects your governance here in Canada and affects a lot of the abuses that happen to you. If you don't understand it, how can you protect yourself? You can't. And that is clear to me. If anything I've learned in the last 48 hours, the First Peoples do not have a real understanding of the civil society. And don't feel bad. Most Canadians don't either. So let me help you. Let me give you a straight run-through education. Already built it, already done. I did a number of years ago. There are dozens of Albertans, and yes, in the narrative of independence, there's dozens of them out there with this education, and they're using it each and every day. You watch all these pop-ups all over Alberta and narratives going forward. You're watching Jason Kenney struggle to hold his party. Too much of the civil society, folks, and now people are rebelling on it. They're seeing it for what it is, and these leaders have gone out and they've created their own creations, used it for good purposes, whether people want to see that or not. But the First Peoples, if you understand it, you can use it to your advantage. Make it work for you. Catch the government, see things coming before it happens. Understand what is government and what is not. And when you do that, you'll be able to look at their acts and bills of legislation, and you'll be able to understand and have a better grasp of how to go through it and call the bullshit of the government out, who's only lining up their own friends, with zero accountability, or at least off of the government, even though it looks like government, it smells like government. Absolutely, it's attached financially to government, but it's not government, which changes the rules of the game. So please, for all those tagged, get a hold of me, message me, those who want to call, whatever. Those who are in with me in the political realm here, you know who you are in this tag. Don't worry about yourselves. It's for those who are not. Those who've never met me, those who've never been vetted by me. You're going to have to do a non-disclosure agreement. I can't have this out and having government officials working around it. It really is a great education, and the best part is it's 100% free, because it's about doing the right thing. It's about empowering people, not taking the power away from the people, which has been a staple of the Canadian government in all their political narratives, because every political party is the same, and they all need their back pocket filled. They don't work for it. They set up a system to take from the public trust. Wrong. Recognize and understand the civil society. Know what your system is in Canada. Take the course. Reach out. Because it's scary right now. I'm watching the First Peoples, and the understanding of what a civil society is not well understood at all. Thanks. That's my early Friday video. We're going to do another day of residential school genocide. As well, I have another video to do a little bit later on, so it's a little bit of a busy day. I try not to get too busy, but it seems to always hit you because your government never sleeps. They have people working around the clock to change direction, shift levers, and keep pounding us out. You have to keep up with it, or you become victim to it. And then that's why I bring forward the civil societies again, because for First Peoples, generally all Canadians, nobody has a firm grasp of what that is, and they don't see the enemy right in front of them. They don't have a good concept of what that enemy is. I'm not saying civil societies are inherently evil, but in the hands of government, they most certainly are. And their narrative, as they go forward, and the monies pulled from the public trust to fund these things, are not what people think they are. They're not even organized or set up in this Canadian system to be anything of the government. And that's what gets government off the hook for being an accountable part of it, and just how badly they will rape and abuse you. Thanks, that's my video. Share if you know First Peoples, great leaders of their community or their group of peoples. Bring them forward, send them my way, and we will get them on the path to doing that course. Again, it's just your time. It's free. I've already done the work. It's already been done before. It does take vetting. I need to know who you are, and you have to understand that you got to sign an agreement that you're not going to just pump out my intellectual property, because it's not for the hands of government. It's for the hands of good people who deserve it. Thank you. Bye now.